Hello guys. So it's been a minute. Welcome back to the vlog. It's June now and I haven't uploaded since what, February, like 4 months. Of course a lot has happened in between those months. Had a whole baby girl. I passed my oral board, so I'm officially board certified in emergency medicine. I'm gonna be starting a new job soon. Maternity leave is ending for me next week, but I had 16 weeks off, quite a lot of time. Avery is now today officially 3 months old. So yeah, a lot to catch up on. Glad to be back vlogging. So yeah, let's get into it. All right, so to start off with, I am feeling great, doing great. I am 13 weeks postpartum. Recovery went well, doing really good, just overall. And so as far as my labor and delivery experience, so ended up getting induced. I had an elective induction at like 40 weeks and 1 day, just induced for dates pretty much. And so we went in on Sunday night for the induction. And generally there's like a few ways you can do inductions. Like you could do cervical ripening methods, or you could just start straight with like Pitocin. So we got there and I started out at 2 centimeters, and they described the cervix as being like favorable. So we bypassed like the cervical ripening methods and then just went straight to the Pitocin. So started that Sunday night like around 10 p.m. and then kind of just slept through the night. Wasn't really feeling contractions. It was just like little cramps in the lower back. And then the next morning around 9 a.m. checked me again and I was 4 centimeters. And at this point, I think like Pitocin was pretty much like at the max dose and I still barely was feeling any contractions. And so talked with the midwife, and decided at that point to break my water to kind of get things progressing. So that was around, yeah, I think around 9 a.m. broke my water when I was 4 centimeters, and whew, I felt every bit of those contractions at that point. And then remember, I'm on the max dose of Pitocin. So what Pitocin does, it mimics the natural contraction. So it causes uterine contractions pretty much to, you know, progress labor. So I was on a max dose. The water was broke. After your water's broken, you're just feeling everything at that point. And I remember like several blocks back, I jokingly said like my only plan for my birth plan was to have the epidural. I got the epidural. I got the epidural as soon as those contractions started hitting. So water broke at 9. And then finally, by the time everything got set up and all that, epidural was in at 11, and y'all, the epidural worked magic. Like after that, wasn't really feeling a thing. I slept through the contractions, took a nap for a little bit. I still was able to move. Like I had feelings in my lower legs. So I was able to do like different positions, like get on all fours, lay on my side and stuff. And my labor and delivery nurse was so good. Like she was such a great nurse. We're trying so many different positions. Literally she would come in every half hour, would switch positions to really try to get the baby's head lower and engaged in an optimal position to get ready to push. And so we're just trying so many different positions. Did that for several hours until ultimately like I was 10 centimeters. The baby had some good position, low down and ready to push. And so this is kind of where things changed a little bit. So I would say, so with the whole birth process, there's the labor part and there's the delivery, labor and delivery. So the labor part went smoothly. You know, like I said, I got the epidural, you know, I was napping through contractions. I was, you know, prior to the epidural, somewhat managing the pain with like breathing exercises and things like that. And so the labor in itself, that went very, very smoothly. And then now it was delivery time. It's time to push. And I remember going in, the 2 things I said about my pushing is that I didn't want to bear down. You know, they usually say, take a deep breath, like hold down. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to do, I think what they call like J breathing, like in through and out. So I did that. Another thing that I had in my mind that I wanted to do was like more of an upright position with pushing, but things just happened so fast, and so I ended up pushing the whole time, like laying flat on my back. Let me tell y'all, I pushed for more than 2 hours. Like, I pushed for almost 2.5 hours, which is quite a long time. Like, by the end, I was just so physically exhausted. At some point, I was worried that they were going to be like, okay, we need to move to a C-section because the baby's not coming out, and it's been over 2 hours of pushing at this point. And it's so funny because initially I told my husband, I was like, okay, don't look down there, just stay right up here by the bedside. But he ended up looking, because like, it's so funny, you have a whole room of everybody just cheering you on, and with each push they were like, good job, you're doing so good, you're making progress. But it was 2.5 hours of them saying the same thing, so he had to look down like, okay, what is going on? Like, is any progress really happening? And I could see eventually they put a mirror there, which I liked that they put the mirror, because each push you could see the head come out more. I just feel like it's a little bit more motivation for you. But there are certain pushes that are doing where you could really see, okay, now I'm getting movement. And so he started coaching me through like, okay, like that push, that was the one, do it like that again. And eventually I pushed and that baby came out. I was like, oh my gosh, thank God, because I was just to the point where like, what is happening? I was at just pure exhaustion at that point from, first of all, almost 24 hours of labor and then 2.5 hours of pushing. And I was just like, Lord, please just let this baby come out, let this baby come out. So she came out, literally a rush of emotions. They laid her on my chest. A rush of emotions at that point came. So I was just thankful that she was out and safe. And then after that, I did end up having significant amount of bleeding, enough for them to call it like postpartum hemorrhage, like 1.5 liters of blood loss. And so that was kind of like a lot. Like I said, the labor part in itself went well, but the whole delivery of the pushing so much and then a lot of blood loss after was a bit much. And I actually wasn't even aware of how much blood loss occurred until like a little bit later, because after like the whole delivery, you know, your nurse gets you up to go to the bathroom and use the bathroom. So I got up and walked to the bathroom, and afterwards I was just feeling like lightheaded. And then the last thing I remember is the nurse was like, okay, just sit back on the bed. And I literally like froze, like I wasn't moving. And that's the last thing I remember. And then I woke up to several people surrounding me. One of the nurses was trying to put on a breather on me. I heard somebody talking about calling a rapid response, and I literally pushed the mask off. I was like, that's when I kind of came back to my senses, and I was like, hold on, am I hypoxic? What are my vitals? They told me that my blood pressure was like in the 70s systolic. I was like, do I have fluids going? At that point, I kind of like snapped back in and was like triaging, like, okay, what are y'all doing to fix this? And that's when I kind of learned about how much blood I had lost and why I was like hypotensive and why I passed out and this, that. Didn't require like a blood transfusion. But yeah, all of that was a bit traumatic. But kind of despite all of that part of the delivery part being a bit traumatic, I would say the kind of the postpartum and the recovery, like, thankfully ended up going well. Initially, like the first 2 weeks dealing with some pain, but I feel like between weeks 2 and 3 I was like pain-free. By week 4 I was like doing a light workout, and then by week 6, when technically you get cleared by the OB, I finally started doing like full workouts. Ended up getting a personal trainer that I'm working with, so I work out 2 days a week with him, and that's just been so good to like have some kind of consistent workout and somebody guiding me on my workouts. But I'm just like thankful that the recovery went so well. Like the postpartum period for me was a good one, I would say. And I feel like a lot of that has to do with just the support that you have. Like my mom came and stayed with us for a few weeks. My husband, he works from home, so like the day-to-day is like shared task, which is very helpful as well. And I just feel like all of that has just made the postpartum part just smooth in general. And then I have 3 months of maternity leave, which is ending soon, and then he then starts 3 months of his maternity leave, so we have like 6 months total, where it's just us two at home with her, which is really nice. I think another thing that has really just helped me feel good and feel like myself in this kind of postpartum period is still doing certain things that I guess you can call them self-care, just taking care of myself, the things that kind of I enjoy. Like I'm still going to get massages, you know, the working out part, going to the gym weekly. Last week I went and got a facial. So just doing those little things for yourself. And you know, some of those things can be a luxury, you know, as far as just having the time to even go out and do those things. And so I'm very appreciative I am still able to keep up with some of those things. So little Avery, so she is, like I said, 3 months now. She is just the sweetest. I'm sure everybody thinks the baby is the sweetest, but she is just the sweetest. Literally, so at 3 months now, like she's in the stage of like smiling and like laughing. And so literally she'll wake up in the morning right away, have a smile on her face, smiling throughout the day. She's babbling so much, using her little voice. What else is she doing? Oh, she's grasping for things now, like her little rattles, like she'll grasp for it and like put it to her mouth. Eating so much. I feel like she's going through a little growth spurt right now, but she loves her little milk. So I've been breastfeeding. That's going really well. Pumping occasionally, maybe once or twice a day at this point. I've been able to make a pretty good freezer stash, but mostly just directly breastfeeding and then pumping once or twice a day. That'll change a little bit when I go back to work next week. And with work, I'm just thankful for like kind of the schedule I have and the flexibility in my schedule. It's not like I'm working on Monday through Friday. You know, the schedule with the ER, I'm working about 12 shifts a month. So I'm still home a lot. So I still will be home a lot with her. I know sometimes like when you return to work, that's kind of when you possibly can start being like an exclusive pumper. And I'm just not a fan of like pumping and having to be tied down to anything. So I have the portable ones for that I'm gonna wear at work, but then I use my Spectra at home, which is, you know, you're sitting down with that. But it's like once or twice a day now. So mainly pumping like when I return to work and when I'm outside of the house. Oh, and as far as sleeping for Avery, I know a lot of people are curious about sleep. Ooh, the newborn stage, I feel like it's obvious. Like, you know, they're waking up every 2 to 3 hours, you know, day and night to feed. It has gotten better now. So she usually goes to sleep like around 9 o'clock, and then she'll wake up once around maybe 2 or 3 a.m. and then again like early morning, like 5, 6 a.m. So not horrible. There are some nights where she goes back to kind of reverting and doing like every 2 to 3 hours. But I feel for the most part we've gotten into a better routine, a better rhythm of just kind of like one middle of the night feeds and then one early morning feed. And then throughout the day is kind of just that, the eat, play, sleep. I wouldn't say a schedule, but kind of a routine of that. You know, she'll eat, stay up for like an hour, play for like an hour, take a nap for maybe like 2 hours or something like that. Usually her morning naps, we get the longer stretch. Like this morning she had a 3-hour nap. She's napping right now, which is why I'm recording right now. But yeah, she is the sweetest. She's been such a joy for us. And this chair right here, I think I have spent so much time in this chair. She loves to be rocked for her naps and to go down to sleep. So like this rocking chair, I spent so much time just loving this little nursery. I feel like, I know I did a nursery tour. I feel like I liked the way that things were set up here. You know, the chair we're getting the most use out of. I pretty much do all her changes in here at the changing table. Only thing I did change, I ended up taking off the I'll show y'all later, the changing pad. Like there was like a muslin cloth, like a cotton cover. I took that off and then just let it be the wipeable one. It's just easier for like cleanup and things like that. I'm trying to think about like products that we got that we either loved or we felt like, oh, we could have done without. I would say the one thing I feel like we probably could have done without is the bottle warmer. One, because she doesn't, I mean, she takes bottles, but not that much. Maybe once a day, and not even every day because I'm just directly breastfeeding. But even when we do have the bottle, we literally just kind of heat up the water on the stove and then put it into something and then put it into a container and then put the bottle in that instead of using a warmer. So haven't really utilized the warmer. The boppy pillow we use so much. I would say that's a good one. What else? In the beginning, more in the newborn stage, we use kind of like that lounger, the sleeper lounger, like maybe if we were like downstairs with her or something like that. Not really using it much these days. The carrier, I would have loved to use more, like the baby carrier, but I haven't used it that much, honestly. We have more of one of the sturdier ones and then one of the cloth ones. I don't know, maybe when we take her out more, we'll use it, but I haven't used it much around the house. Speaking of going out, I haven't done like any like solo outings with her to like run errands or anything. I haven't really had the need to. Like I said, Stanley works from home, so if I'm out, you know, running an errand, doing some quick shopping or something like that, I just leave her at home, you know, with him and vice versa. So yeah, I haven't done any solo outings with her quite yet, but we've taken her out to like dinners and out to eat with just like the two of us, and she's done great. We always just make sure to feed her right before any outing. But I'm just trying to soak up this stage because everything just goes by so fast. Like, soak up the stage of her just being so tiny and just kind of just in our arms all the time, just kind of with us all the time. I mean, even as she's little, she's always gonna be with us, but this stage I just feel like just soaking up this time because she's just gonna grow so fast. A stage I'm looking forward to is like when she starts eating solids and exploring foods and things like that. I'm looking forward to that stage, but enjoying the stage that we're in right now. But I'll say overall, motherhood, it is a whole new world though. Life has definitely changed. Like, it's like, yeah, I mean, you have somebody relying on you, you have a little one relying on you. Your time is not your own anymore. You're not just getting up and going. Like, you know, life has changed. It's different, but it's a good different, you know. And I feel like for us, this was just, I think, great timing, perfect timing for us to start a family with where we are now. I feel like we've been able to do a lot, you know, individually between the two of us, you know, with traveling, just living life, our careers, and I just feel like perfect timing, you know, to bring a little one into our life at this time. And this one just woke up from a nap. Say hi, Avery. Say hey. She is ready to eat, so I guess that means it is time to end this video, huh? All right, y'all, it was great catching up with y'all. Like I said, ooh, missing a sock over here. Like I said, I'm returning to work next week and I feel pretty good about it. Yeah, I'm ready to actually kind of get out, do some thinking, some critical thinking, get back into medicine. And yeah, like I said, this was just such an enjoyable time. I've had a great maternity leave. Had been having such a good time with baby girl over here. And so more videos to come. Can we say bye? We'll see you guys next time. Bye. Look how big you've gotten. All right, let's go eat.